Good morning. I'd like to call this meeting of Children and Youth Committee to order. Just a reminder, this meeting is being recorded, and members, please silence your phones and remember to use the microphone when you're speaking. Before we begin, I'd like to gladly wish our chairwoman, Clunk, a very happy birthday today. So, wishing you a good day. Okay, now on to business. Okay. Today we'll be voting on one bill, House Bill 928, sponsored by Representative Kozarowski. House Bill 928 will provide immediate assistance to children in a daycare facility who may experience an allergic reaction or go into anaphylaxis due to a food allergy. Our committee remains committed to ensuring both the health and safety of our children. To get started, Brooke, will you take the roll?
Chair McNeil,
Here.
Representatives Bellman,
Designation?
Boyd, Serrato,
Oh, she's here. Okay.
Curry, Fleming, Genst,
Designation?
Hambidge,
Designation?
Howard,
Designation?
Kazim,
Designation?
Krajewski,
Designation?
McAndrew,
Designation?
Nelson,
Designation?
Parker,
Designation?
Chair Clunk,
Here.
Representatives Barger,
Designation,
Day,
designation,
Flick, Hogan,
designation,
Kozak, McKenzie,
designation,
Mihalik,
designation,
Pugh,
designation,
Schlegel, Walsh,
designation.
Zimmerman. You have a quorum.
Thank you. The chair calls up House Bill 928, printers number 902. Danielle, please provide a summary of the resolution. It says resolution.
Good morning. House Bill 928, sponsored by Representative Kozarowski, amends Title 35, Health and Safety of the Pennsylvania Consolidated Statutes requiring epinephrine auto-injectors in daycare facilities. The following third-party interest groups support this legislation: the Pennsylvania Association for the Education of Young Children, Trying Together, and First Up. There is no known opposition.
Thank you, Danielle. I'll be offering Amendment A00885. Danielle, can you provide a summary?
Amendment A00885, sponsored by Representative McNeil, makes the following changes. Section 5502 is amended by adding definitions of the following terms: daycare facility and epinephrine delivery system. Section 5503B is amended by changing requirement to may and ensures funding is specifically designated to fund the program. Section 5503D is amended by including agents and employees in training. Section 5503D, subsection 1, is amended by adding training shall be provided in English, Spanish, and any other language deemed appropriate by the department. Section 5503D, subsection 1I, is amended by adding how to recognize signs and symptoms of severe allergic reactions, including anaphylaxis, in both children and adults. Section 5503D.1 is amended by adding informational materials shall be developed in English, Spanish, and other languages as deemed appropriate by the department. Section 5503D.11I is amended by adding in signs and symptoms of allergic reactions in children, including anaphylaxis. Section 5503D.113 is amended by adding general emergency procedures. Section 5503D.114 is amended by removing food allergy policy. Section 5503D.13 is amended by providing to daycare providers provisions of sharing informational materials to parents or guardians of a child. Finally, the effective date is changed from 60 days to 180 days.
Thank you, Danielle. Will the committee agree to the amendment? Those in favor of the amendment will vote aye. Those opposed, no. Brooke, please call the roll.
Chair McNeil,
Here.
Representatives Bellman,
Designation.
Boyd, Serrato, Curry, Fleming, Genst,
Designation.
Hainbidge,
Designation.
Howard,
Designation.
Kazim,
Designation.
Krajewski,
Designation.
McAndrew,
Designation.
Nelson,
Designation.
Parker,
Designation.
Chair Klunk,
Yes.
Representatives Barger,
Designation, yes.
Day, Flick, Hogan,
Designation, yes.
Kozak, McKenzie,
Designation, yes.
Mihalik,
Designation, yes.
Pugh,
Designation, yes.
Schlegel, Walsh,
Designation, yes.
Zimmerman.
26 yeas, 0 nays.
On the amendment, the ayes are 26 and the nays are 0. Representative Kozarowski is present to provide remarks on the bill.
Good morning to the committee, and I'm joined here with Representative Marcel. So thank you very much for considering House Bill 928. Like many pieces of legislation, House bills and pieces of change and need come from stories that come to us from constituents. This story in particularly came from Elijah's story. Elijah was a little boy that lost his life in a daycare setting secondary to anaphylactic reaction to a allergen that was given to him by the caretakers, and they were not able to recognize the signs and symptoms, and 911 wasn't called early enough, and Elijah lost his life. Elijah was 3 years old. So thank you to Dina and Thomas, his mom and dad, who have advocated tirelessly to make sure that children like Elijah's stories don't happen again in settings where you take your little one to be cared for in a safe environment. And that is really the reason that the representative and I are here today to advocate for this change here in Pennsylvania. We are open to any kind of concerns from stakeholders that need any kinds of changes. We're happy to entertain that. But as a nurse, first and foremost, I know how important it is to have access to immediate care. I always say I've taken care of pediatrics and adults, and little ones are when they crash fast. And certainly with anaphylaxis, they have little chance if they do not have the access to epinephrine. It is life-saving, and it will change the outcome. The reason we're here today is to make sure that those resources are available, and those that are caring for the children understand exactly how to use them. Crisis is something that causes stress always, and the more training and the more availability that the caretakers have to take care of these kids is really the reason behind this bill. So thank you for your consideration, and I'll pass it over to Representative Marcel.
Thank you very much, and I just wanted to thank the chairs for considering this bill and also holding the hearing that was done on this bill previously. I'm not going to go through my entire statement because everyone has already heard it, but basically, I'm a mother of a child that has food allergies, and in one incident, we found out about one of those allergies when he was, I think, 5, and it resulted in a hospital ride. And so I just wanted to mention that obviously we want to make sure that there is support in these daycare systems, whether it's the training or the actual EpiPens, because sometimes those seconds really matter. And I shared with Bridget before we came up here that every time we talk about Elijah, I have to keep myself composed because I think of my son. And so I'm just here as a mother and hoping that we can all work together in a bipartisan manner to make some positive change for the Commonwealth. Thank you.
One more quick note. Here in the Commonwealth, we all are aware of the crisis in hospital settings. We are losing hospitals, which makes access to emergency rooms harder and harder for people to travel to, and especially in settings like anaphylaxis. An emergency room visit is necessary. And as we are facing what's happening in our Commonwealth, the emergency room care is done on site with the caretakers. So this is even more important as we face what's happening in our Commonwealth with hospital settings. Thank you. And happy birthday to our chairwoman. And it's Seersucker Day, so we're matching today.
Thank you. Representative Curry?
Thank you, Chairwoman. I just want to thank the makers of the bill. I wasn't able to be at the hearing, but I know that this is such an important issue, particularly for folks who experience not only injury but death of a loved one as a result of, going into the anaphylactic shock. And I would just encourage all of us to, Children and Youth has this particular bill, but there's other bills that are running out there right now around this very issue with food allergies that aren't landing in this particular committee, but in insurance. And I would just encourage folks to look at those bills as well, because we want to make sure that we, as Rep. Kozarowski said in the hearing, we don't even need to get to this point, that we can try to get it from the start when we're having our babies and understanding where these allergies are coming from. So thank you to the makers of the bill and for saving lives today. And hopefully we can get this across the governor's desk. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair Klunk?
Sure. Thank you, Chairwoman. I think this is a great example of, when a sad story comes to us, we try to make it better so that that doesn't happen to another family. And I commend the makers for working together on this in a bipartisan way to find solutions for our families and our kids here in Pennsylvania. I know that there's still some work, I think, that needs to be done on this, and I truly applaud both of you for the work that we have done, and especially the committee with the chairwoman in coming together in a bipartisan way to create the amendment and have the discussions moving forward to see if there's anything else that we need to add in to make sure that our providers feel comfortable with delivering this type of care and that everything is in the bill for them to really deliver that care, hopefully never needed, but if needed, that they are properly trained and equipped to do so. So I will be supporting this bill and commend you both on what you're doing. And again, just our hearts go out to Elijah's family, and it's just great to see something good is coming from his very sad death.
Thank you, Chair Klunk. As someone who worked in the nurse's office many years ago, we had many children come in with this issue, and all of them but one did have an EpiPen. And luckily, the nurse I worked with was smart enough to take someone else's to save this person's life. And fortunately, there were no charges or any issues brought up because of the reason we did that. So I thank you both for bringing this bill up. And again, prayers to the family and anyone else who has lost a child due to not having this in the daycare facilities. Those in favor of reporting the bill as amended will vote aye. Those opposed, no. Brooke, please take the roll.
Chair McNeil,
Yes.
Representatives Bellman,
Designation?
Boyd, Serrato, Curry, Fleming, Genst,
Designation, yes.
Hambidge,
Designation, yes.
Howard,
Designation, yes.
Kazim,
Designation, yes.
Krajewski,
Designation, yes.
McAndrew,
Designation, yes.
Nelson,
Designation, yes.
Parker,
Designation, yes.
Chair Klunk,
Yes.
Representatives Barger,
Designation, yes.
Day, Flick, Hogan,
Designation, yes.
Kozak, McKenzie,
Designation, yes.
Mihalik,
Designation, yes.
Pugh,
Designation, yes.
Schlegel, Walsh,
Designation, yes.
Zimmerman.
On that question, the ayes are 26 and the nays are 0. Thank you so much to everyone. The bill will be reported as amended. With no further business, we are adjourned.